of all, Sarah Palin was at it again. She finally, stepped down. She made a big announcement. She's going to leave being the governor of Alaska. And, listen, I don't know how convoluted this gets or why people who are on the so-called right wing of politics, why they defend this woman. First of all, she was elected to be governor of California, of Alaska. And I made a Freudian slip and said California because I was thinking, Arnold Schwarzenegger's in California right now. Things are not going great in California. He doesn't step down. He's being a governor, and he agreed to do a job, and he's trying to help people to get out of this situation. Whether he's doing it rightly or wrongly, that's for you to decide. For the idea that Sarah Palin is some kind of hero for stepping down as governor because the media picks on her. This media thing, every speech she makes, even as she was leaving office yesterday, she's blaming the media again. And, it reminds me of a guy.
Why is she blaming the media in front of the media?
I don't know.
Because she needs the media. It's a vicious thing they're doing, because every time she's making these claims, she's making them to the media.
And she's going to make some money by resigning.
And my point about this is that, a guy she reminds me of is Spiro Agnew. He was the vice president under Richard Nixon. And his thing was the media. He latched on to this. He used to work it like, of course they found
Wasn't
that
he the one with the silent majority?
The silent majority, the media.
The nattering nabobs.
And this woman, I'm so glad that she's stepping down, because if I hear one more time about the real Americans who don't live in big cities, listen, there are struggling moms. She talks about struggling moms, the real Americans who live, outside the big cities. I'll take you into this city and show you some real moms, single moms who are working their ass off and also raising a family, who are real people. For people who live in a city, it's offensive. It's like, what do you mean, I'm not a real person?
Well, it's also that thing of dividing the country based on region.
Right. In other words, the real people live out here in the hinterlands. And, so here she is yet again. She's stepping down. She's right there, as Robin says, in front of the media, berating the media. And it's all a big joke, because really, to talk about the media is easy. To remain as governor and solve problems and lead people and do the job you were elected to do, she's a quitter. No one can argue with that she's a quitter.
Well, no, there are people who say no. Just because she's quitting, she's not a quitter.
She's not a quitter? Okay. Well,
she said it herself.
Yeah. She goes, I'm not a quitter. Can you imagine this?
First, some straight talk for just some, in the media. Because
media. It's this media thing. I mean, listen, the media doesn't get every story, correct. But the fact is, when it comes to her, anything they cover is an assault.
Yeah, it's a great excuse for why there are bad stories about her. She's just, attacked by the media all the time.
When she can't even name the periodicals she reads, and it's not even clear that she knows what the word periodical means, she blames the media for that. The media didn't do anything to her. They asked her a simple fluff question, and she couldn't answer it. I'll ask George. George, what publications do you like to read?
Me?
Yeah.
Well, I subscribe to both the LA Times and the New York Times.
There you go.
Time Magazine, Newsweek. I have Entertainment Weekly because Brad reads that. In fact, we subscribe to the Inquirer because Brad reads that.
Holy shit,
that's too detailed an answer.
Now, do you think that's a trick question that I asked you?
No.
No, so that's it. I mean, she considered that a trick question.
Another right protected for all of us is freedom of the press. And you have such important jobs, reporting facts and informing the electorate and exerting power to influence. You represent what could and should be a respected, honest profession that could and should be a cornerstone of our democracy. Democracy depends on you. And that's why our troops are willing to die for you. So, how about, in honor of the American soldier, you quit making things up.
There you go. The American soldier. Let's make her president.
Serving at your job.
I'm sorry, George, what'd you say?
In honor of the American soldiers, you don't quit at your job.
Right. Why?
That's a good point.
Quitting your job is not the right answer.
Maybe the soldier should quit when the going gets tough.
Yeah, why not? You know
Right.
what? It's not a lot of fun anymore. I'll go get a talk show instead of being a soldier.
And don't underestimate the wisdom wisdom of the people. And one other thing for the media, our new governor has a very nice family, too. So leave his kids alone.
So you march your children out.
All of the national media is now going to march up to Alaska to harass this governor.
Well, it's actually like Joan Rivers on her roast. I mean, don't put your daughter on TV and then say don't roast her if I'm going to do a roast. In other words, this woman, Sarah Palin, used her children like a poster, like a beam of light, putting them on TV. She even tried to create a hero out of her daughter for having an out-of-wedlock baby. An underage girl has a baby, and she's going to treat this like it's a heroic thing. You can't have it both ways. The media is going to report on it when you want them to, and then they're also going to comment and talk about your hypocrisies. So thank God she's gone. She's a quitter.
But this is great positioning again for her, because anything she doesn't like that's said about her now the media makes things up. Yeah. You know, she's creating a reality that she's going to live in.
And now she's become a victim.
Right.
Victim of the media.
I promised that we would manage our fish and wildlife for abundance and that we would defend the Constitution. And we have, though outside special interest groups, they still just don't get it on this one. Let me tell you, Alaskans need to really stick together on this with new leadership in this area, especially. Encouraging new leadership. Got it. Stiffen your spine to do what's right for Alaska when the pressure mounts. Because you're going to see anti-hunting, anti-Second Amendment circuses from Hollywood. And here's how they do it. They use these delicate, tiny, very talented celebrity starlets. They use Alaska as a fundraising tool for their anti-Second Amendment causes. Stand strong and remind them patriots will protect our individual guarantee.
So in other words, it's Alaska against the Hollywood starlets. In other words, the Hollywood machine. They use Alaska for their...
They use starlets? Who is she talking about?
When you see... who knows? I mean, maybe when you see a public service announcement where someone says, hey, preserve the environment, or they talk about...
Yeah, but a starlet is like an ingenue, right? It's a young girl who's just showing you how pretty she is.
I don't know. It's whacked out psychobabble. It's like a call to arms, us versus them. Remain strong. Don't let the Hollywood elite, don't let the media, don't let the, maybe I'm sensitive on this, but don't let the Jews get the way with you.
Hollywood.
Divide and conquer.
To me, Hollywood is Jews. New York, big cities are Jews. I mean, it's just, it almost sounds like Hitler calling the people to arms to me. To me. This is how it sounds.
Well, yeah, it's this divide the country so we can lead.
The reason our soldiers are dying is so you reporters, you elitist, snaky, sneaky, lying, sniveling. Reporters are hardworking people too, Believe it or not.
So
and if they're making things up, sue them.
Right.
So are people in New York City.
That's against the law.
They're under a lot more scrutiny than you are, Sarah. People in the media can't just make up shit, because guess what? There's courts.
Yeah.
And if someone's made something up about you, Sarah, why don't you sue them?
That's my point. You don't just say stop making things up.
Right. There are laws.
She's being sued because she has questionable ethics.
Right. Oh, that you don't hear about in her discourse.